Good day, everyone. This is Miss I, and welcome to our reading and writing subject. For today, we will be covering Lesson 4 Sentence and Topic Outlines. We will discuss the definition of outline formats, principles of outlining, kinds of outline, the outlining process, and the benefits of an outline. So, let's just have a recap of our previous discussions. So, we had brainstorming, graphic organizers, and for today we will talk about outlining. So, brainstorming, graphic organizers, and outlining, these are the three main techniques that we use when we want to select information and organize them whenever we read and we write. Okay? So we will be talking about outlining. What is outlining? So basically, an outline or outlining is the process of planning for writing. Okay, so sometimes it's also creating a summary of what you have just read. Okay, so an outline gives us the essential features of a text. Basically, what the text is all about. Okay, so if we're going to define outline, this is a technique that shows how different parts of a text are related to one another. So these parts could be of equal importance, or sometimes the sections are showing if a certain idea is subordinate to a main idea or a bigger idea. Okay, now, an outline is also referred to as the blueprint of a text. Okay, so if you know what a blueprint is, no, yung blueprint, yun yung basically plano. Yun yung ginagamit ng mga engineers, ng mga architects whenever they make buildings, kapag nagde-design sila ng mga houses. So similarly, an outline is also considered a plan or a blueprint for whenever you read or whenever you write. Okay? So there are different outline formats that we use. The first one is alphanumeric and the second one is decimal. So just by looking at the names of these outline formats, we have an idea already what is all about. No? So when we say alphanumeric outline format, this is the kind of outline wherein we use both letters and numbers in labeling the ideas. Okay. So what do we mean by both letters and numbers? So by letters, we mean we use the letters or the symbols A to Z. Okay, whereas for numbers we use the symbol 0 to the infinity. Okay, like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so that's alphanumeric. Remember, they both use letters and numbers. And for the next one, we have the decimal format. Okay, so this is an outline format wherein we only use numbers to represent the ideas that we have. Okay, so it's just using 0 to probably 9 or something. Okay, so then we use decimal to indicate, for example, 0, 2.1. Okay, so to indicate the subordination of the ideas. So let's take a look at these examples. On your left, you can see that we have there an essay outline. Okay, so if you're going to look at the labels of this particular outline, you can see that it uses the Roman numeral I for 1. Okay, then the letter as well as the numbers 1 and 2. Okay, so therefore this type of outline, this particular outline is using the alpha numeric format. Okay, so whereas in your right, you can see that we have there 2.1, 2.1.1, 2.1.2, 2.1.3, no, and then 2.2 to represent or label the ideas and shows its subordination. Okay, so which I'll be explaining later on kung ano ba yung subordination. Okay, so therefore this outline on your right is using the decimal format. Sorry, that's decimal. Okay, hindi ko lang na-edit. Nasa may right ninyo, that's decimal. Okay, now let's go with the principles of outlining. We already talked about the subordination a while ago. So subordination is one of the principles of outlining. There are four basic rules or principles. that we have to follow whenever we create our outlines. The first principle is coordination. So when we see coordination, it is simply requiring ideas of the same relevance to be labeled in the same way. So ano pong ibig sabihin natin doon sa relevance? So when we say relevance, it showcases the importance. Okay? How important one idea is. Okay? If you consider one particular idea as the main idea or one of the main ideas and you labeled it as the first main idea, letter A, okay? Therefore, the next main idea that you're going to have should be labeled letter B, okay? Because you followed the alphabetical label or representation. Okay. For example, if you labeled it 1, then you should stick for the second main idea with labeling it as 2. Okay. That is what coordination is all about. Okay, wag malilito ha. Next, subordination. It simply shows that minor details have to be placed under their respective major details. Okay? The main ideas should be supported by supporting ideas that are related to them. That is why they are called supporting ideas in the first place. Okay? You cannot include ideas there under a main idea that are not related to it. Okay? Again, subordination, the supporting details are placed under the main ideas, which should be related to each other. Next, next is division. When we say division, it simply requires that no cluster should contain only one item. Okay? If you have already indicated a main idea over there, it has to be supported with supporting details. Now, you cannot just indicate a main idea and not support it with other details. Okay? For example, you already identified one main idea. No? For example, is teenage pregnancy. So you need to at least support it with 1 to 3 supporting details. Okay, halimbawa, statistics sa Pilipinas, no? Ano bang range nung age or ano bang particular age yung pinakang mas maraming nabubuntes sa teenager. Next, what are the factors? What could be the factors? Is it environmental? Is it mental or sa person itself or sa family? Okay? So that's division. Next we have parallel. Okay, next we have parallel construction. Whenever you use an outlier, whenever you create an outline, you also need to consider that you have to make the format, okay, or the layout of the paradigm. What do we mean by that? It simply requires that all entries in each cluster should be using the same structure or format. Okay, so if you already use or started using the alphanumeric format, then stick with alphanumeric format. If you started using the decimal format, then stick with the decimal format. Okay, that is what parallel construction is all about. Okay, and it should be applied to all of the clusters in your outline. Now, let's move on to the different kinds of outline. There are two different kinds of outline. The first one is sentence outline and the second one is topic outline. So by the terms itself, you can already know or you can already figure out the difference between the two. No? When we say sentence outline, this is a type of outline wherein you write down or you use complete sentences as its entries. Okay? Therefore, the main ideas, the supporting details are all written in complete sentences. Okay, so this type of outline is also referred to as expanded outline. Whereas for topic outline, on the other hand, this is a type of outline wherein we use instead of sentences, this is a shorter version, no? It's more compact version of the text since it only uses words or simple phrases as its headers or as its labels. Okay? So it's a systematic arrangement of ideas using broad topics in the form of words or simple phrases. Okay? So take for example, you have this outline about email and monitoring. As currently practiced is an invasion of employees' rights in the workplace. So that was the thesis statement, and then you would notice that it contains all of the main ideas, all of the supporting ideas. Okay? If you would have noticed, yung mga yon ay written in complete sentences, no, with the proper punctuation marks. Okay, so this one we can refer to this as the sentence outline. And if you're going to compare it to this next one, okay, this is a different topic. However, the format and the kind of outline that is used is very different as well. Okay, so this one, instead of using complete sentences, the thesis statement is written in a complete sentence. However, the outline, na kung mapapansin ninyo, ang outline is using words and phrases only. Hindi siya buo kumpara dun sa una na ipinakita ko. No? So this one is what we refer to as the topic outline. Okay? Have you seen the difference? Okay. Ang pinagkaiba lang na yung isa is buong sentence at ito naman is words or phrases lang. Okay, now let's move forward to creating an outline. We have these different steps. Different steps in creating an outline. So how do you create an outline? How would you make one? The first thing that you have to do if you're just starting or if you're not even familiar with doing outlines, the first thing that you have to do is brainstorming. Okay, especially if you were just given a topic to write about. When you are just reading something and you are asked to create an outline out of the information that you have just read, no, it's easy because you already know the information, you've already provided with the details. However, it's going to be very difficult for you, or it might be challenging if it's just a topic yung binigay sa'yo, no? For example, career list lang ng iPhone 16 tapos yun yung ibinigay na topic sa'yo. So basically, bago siya and kailangan mo pang mag-brainstorm, no? You have to use the first technique in selecting and organizing information. And by brainstorming, what are we going to do? The first thing you have to do is to just list down all the ideas that you want to include in your paper. Okay? And again, if you would remember, sa brainstorming, kailangan yung information, the ones that we need to list down, should come from multiple sources or different resources. Okay? So it could be from different people, their reviews, their POVs, or from different materials, from different references. Okay? So you list down all the ideas that you want to include in your paper. So the second step, okay, organizing. By organizing, we mean systematic arrangement of those ideas. Okay. Now, how do we do all of the things or all of the ideas that you have listed down? No, you need to find their connection. So, busisiin mo yung mga ideas na in-include mo. Piliin mo dyan yung mga related, yung connected sa isa't isa. Establish mo yung relasyon about or among all of those ideas that you have collected. And the second thing that you have to do is you need to group them based on their relationship. If idea 1 is related to idea 2, then group them together. If idea 3 is related to idea 6, then group them together. Now, that is the way of organizing the ideas that you have collected. Okay? So, the third one, ordering. When we say ordering, hindi yun yung nanghihingi ka ng menu, no? To search for the food or coffee. Ibang order yon. This one means that we are arranging it. Okay? Orderly. So by arranging the material in some sections from general, usually this is the order that we follow. From general to specific or from abstract to concrete, no, you are actually practicing the ordering technique. You arrange them in a way that it presents your thesis statement or your main idea in a way that people would easily understand. Okay? So usually we follow general to specific or abstract to concrete. Therefore, you start from the broadest idea, no? From the most general, yung pinakamalawak that you can still expound and then move on to the specific ones, those that you can easily support with evidences, okay? So the next one, the fourth one, we have the labeling. When we say labeling, you just put labels. So you create your main ideas, identify your main ideas, and then identify which of those ideas can support or which other ideas can support these ideas. Okay? To simply put it, you have to create main ideas and then create subheadings. Okay? Remember na dalawa ang pwede nating format na gamitin. Pwedeng alphanumeric or pwedeng decimal format. But make sure um when you do this, make sure to use parallel construction. Alright, now let's move forward to the benefits of outlining. It easily shows the relationship of ideas. Okay, so for example, binigyan kita ng outline, no? By just looking at it, kahit hindi mo isa-isahin yung information, alam mo na kaagad kung alin dyan yung main idea at alam mo na agad kung alin dyan yung supporting ideas. Kaya very important ang pag-outline. Next, it helps you organize your ideas. Again, when we say organization, it's group, no? The main idea is supported with other ideas or the thesis statement is supported with supporting details or evidences for the rest of the outline. So, yun lang yun. Ibig sabihin is organized na, no? Next, it simplifies and helps you save time in writing. Okay, magagamit ninyo ito sa paggawa ng essay. Halimbawa, I ask you to create an essay. So, using the outline, you know how your essay will be structured. No, alam mo yung pagkakasunod-sunod, alam mo yung pinaka-importante na kailangan is present doon sa essay mo. Okay, the next one is if not for writing, it is also very effective in helping you to speak. Okay, especially if you're engaging in public speaking. Usually, before you could even be asked to engage in public speaking, you are asked to prepare for it, no? Maghahanda ka muna ng sasabihin mo, your speech, or the theme, and then the content. So, instead of memorizing an entire text or an entire essay, syempre, kahit gaano ka ka-prepare at gaano mo ka saulado yan, meron at merong pagkakataon na maliligtaan mo, especially kapag kinakabahan ka, baka may important points ka na ma-miss, no? So, in using outline, you have a guide, no? So, ito muna yung first topic na i-discuss mo. Then, ito yung mga bagay na ipang-susupport mo, yung mga evidences, yung mga statistics, so on and so forth. So, it would be easy for you to identify and to manage, to express all your ideas, as well as your sources and references. Okay, so before we end, again, the three main techniques in organizing and selecting information are brainstorming, graphic organizers, and outlining. So that's it for today. Thank you and goodbye.